And what if all of animated nature be but organic harps diversely framed, that tremble into thought as o'er them sweeps plastic and vast one intellectual breeze, at once the soul of each and God of all? Make me thy lyre, even as the forest is, on which that ancient trump he reached was hung. Some mute and glorious Milton here may rest. He to the common's feet presents a kingdom for his years' rents. An old, mad, blind, despised, and dying king, and the hapless soldier's sigh run in blood down palace walls. Sweepings from butchers' stalls, dung, guts, and blood, drowned puppies, stinking sprats, all drenched in mud. The wretched Flavia on her couch reclined, thus breathed the anguish of a wounded mind. Oh, Celia, 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 shits. He first the snuff-box opened, then the case. Most epic poets plunge in medias res. Horace makes this the heroic turnpike road, the broken wall, the burning roof and tower, and Agamemnon dead. And yet God has not said a word, and here we are as on a darkling plain. I would recline while fancy should go forth. 5 years have passed, 5 summers with the length of 5 long winters. How like a winter hath my absence been. The albatross fell off and sank like lead into the sea. A slumber did my spirit seal, for I'm wearied with hunting, and I fain would lie down. Runners who renown outran, and the name died before the man. The best laid schemes of mice and men, he fights with dogs for hours and beats them all. Tiger, tiger, burning bright in the forests of the night, so the sun, if it arise, half so glorious as his eyes. Thus, though we cannot make our sun stand still, yet we will make him run. This carcass breathed and walked and slept. My fluttering soul, sprunt with a painted kiss, hangs hovering o'er her balmy brinks of bliss, kisses her lips, her neck, her hair. Madness, the pulpit, faction seize the throne. Oh, my love's like a red, red rose of crimson joy, as ere beneath the waning moon was haunted by a woman wailing for her demon lover. Our cares, our toils, our clamors are renewed, our pleasures seldom reached, again pursued. What leaf-fringed legend haunts about thy shape, to aid thy pencil and thy verse conspire? And secrecy, the human dress is forged iron. Conquest or rule thy heart shall feebly more, that separate rights are lost in mutual love. I weep for Adonais, he is dead. I weep for Adonais, though our tears thaw not the frost which binds so dear a head. And thou, sad hour, selected from all years, faint as a star, when only one is shining in the sky. He hid his face amid a crowd of stars. Nay, if you read this line, remember not the hadn't that writ it, for I love you so. He fathers forth, whose beauty is past change. Praise him. On and on and on and on and on. Bring the wraith primrose that forsaken dies, the tufted croto and pale jessamine. Ye nymphs which haunt the springs and pleasant valleys, no dolphin came, nor nereid stirred. She dwells with beauty, beauty that must die, and joy, whose hand is ever at her hips. For mercy has a human heart, and I am black, but oh, my soul is white, for he is the servant of the living God, duly and daily serving him. In vain to chase the every art we try, in vain all remedies apply, in vain the Indian leaf infuse. The disease, alas, is common. Single we have all the spleen. Without my daemon's aid to gain my love, that murmur soon replies, God doth not need. Be near me when my light is low, and heaven this day is feasted with your name. wanders the hoary Thames along his silver winding way. 'Twas on a holy Thursday, their innocent faces clean, the children walking two and two in red and blue and green, child of distress, who meets the bitter scorn of fellow men to happier prospects born. Judge not the Lord by feeble sense, but trust him in his grace. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May. Rise and put on your foliage, and be seen to come forth like the springtime fresh and green. Corinna, the pride of Drury Lane, her noblest work she classes, oh, and then she made the lasses, oh. In the room the women come and go, talking of Michelangelo. The glades forlorn confess the tyrant's power, children of elder time, in whose devotion the chainless winds still come and ever came. He found her by the ocean's moaning verge. But who wast thou, O happy, happy dove? His Psyche true, I kept him for his humour's sake, for he would oft beguile my heart of thoughts that made it ache, and force me to a smile. For sure our souls were near allied, and thine, cast in the same poetic mould with mine, quite clear to such a one, and say, just this, or that in your disgusts me, here you miss. I thought once how Theocritus had sung of the sweet years, the dear and wished-for years, for wives ill-used no remedy remains, to daily racks condemned, and to eternal chains. If by dull rhymes our English must be chained, scorn not the sonnet critic, you have frowned. The critics say the epics have died out, with Agamemnon and the goat-nursed gods. She found me roots of relish sweet in honey wild and manna dew, and with that one word said, had a peach from the tree. That age is best, which is the first, when youth and blood are warmer. Dust and ashes, so you creak it, and I want the heart to scold. Dear dead women, with such hair, to what's become of all the gold? Used to hand and brush their bosoms, I feel chilly and grown old. The double, double, double beat of the thundering drum, piping down the valleys wild, piping songs of pleasant glee, in joyless fields and thorny thickets leaves his shivering mates, and in the cherry he does nature vex, to procreate without a sex. A queen in opal or in ruby dress, a nameless girl in freshest summer greens, one shade the more, one ray the less, had half impaired the nameless grace that thou, light-winged dryad of the trees, makes faint with too much sweet those heavy-winged thieves. There's wild winds blow, and rivers row, and many a hill between. We two have run about the brass and poed the gallons fine. Remember me, when no more day by day you tell me of our future that you plan. John Anderson, my Joe, John, we climbed the hill together, gave thee clothing of delight, soft as clothing lily bright. Turn away no more. Why wilt thou turn away? England hath need of thee. She is a fen. Why wilt thou sleep the sleep of death? Soft Chloris with the dear Alexis joined. Fair lovely maid, or if that title be too weak, too feminine for nobler thee, arise from their graves and aspire where my sunflower wishes to go. I saw it was filled with graves and tombstones where flowers should be, and the heart must pause to breathe, and love itself have rest. I'll so describe your dressing room, the very iris shall not come. I was angry with my foe, I told it not, my wrath did grow. Pale grew thy cheek and cold, colder thy kiss. Not that their pleasures caused her discontent, she sighed, not that they stayed, but that she went. For where the sun does shine, and where the rain does fall, babe can never hunger there, no poverty the mind appall. Bright intellectual sun, why dost thy ray to earth distribute only partial day? Mute is thy wild harp now, O bard sublime. And what if all of animated nature be but organic harps diversely framed, that tremble into thought as o'er them sweeps plastic and vast one intellectual breeze, at once the soul of each and God of all.
Are you filming me?
Yeah.